So hello and welcome to the video. Now I make a video about updates to the British Airways Executive Club every time I gather 6 things that are worth reporting on. But there's been a monster change in the last week or two, so I think I need to cover it even though I've only got a list of 4 things to talk about. And like my last BA video, this breaks my format of having lists of 6, but you know what? I'll cope if you cope. So if you'd like to hear about 4 changes to the BA Executive Club that you need to know about, including the big one on how Avios are earned when flying with BA, stick around. Hi, I'm Matt. I've lived in 5 countries on 4 continents. I've flown over 1.4 million miles. I've visited over 100 countries, every American state, but I'm nowhere near done. So subscribe and you might pick up some hacks, hints and tips to make your next trip better. So the 3 things I want to talk about before I get to the big one are quite significant, but fortunately they're quite quick to explain. The first is that BA has changed the pricing of its subscription program. They launched this about a year ago with really quite good pricing at their higher tiers. 0.89p per Avio is really quite a good price, particularly if you need a large block of Avios. Well, it turns out that pricing was too good to be true and BA has put the price up by a whopping 40% for the lowest subscription amount, but by a slightly more manageable 11% for the biggest block of 200,000. Which I suppose reflects what inflation has done to all of us over the last year or so, but it's still quite a big increase. Which means the cheapest Avios are now 0.99 of a p each. Now, had this been the prevailing price from when the programme launched, I would have still thought it was worth a look because I think I can get much more than 1p in value when I spend my Avios. Check out this video for the value I thought I got in 2022. But as the price started lower, this does feel like a bit of a blow, even if it's still the best way of reliably buying a large block of Avios. And remember, the annual plan is the way to go here. You pay a lump sum up front but get a 2-month discount, and then the Avios are delivered to you in 12 monthly instalments. So buying Avios this way does require you to put a large chunk of cash out up front, and it's not a solution if you need the Avios tomorrow. You can buy Avios immediately, although they're much more expensive. Although the second item report is yet another way of buying Avios, which may be a solution if you need them quickly. BA has introduced a boost concept, whereby you can buy Avios in multiples of the amounts that you've earned over the last month. You can buy up to 3 times that amount, and with the triple boost that gets you 0.92p per Avio. Which is an okay price, but for June and July, BA is putting a 10% bonus on this, bringing the price per Avio down to 0.84p at this triple boost level. Which is now a very respectable price. That bonus may well have gone by the time you watch that video, but it could very well come back, so it's something to keep an eye out for. Of course, this offer arrives in the lowest earning Avios month I've had possibly for years. So it's not a significant enough amount of Avios to have me reaching for my credit card. And I've seen an example from someone who puts a lot of money through their credit card on business expenses. Their triple boosted amount ended up in the hundreds of thousands, which seems to confuse the pricing algorithm, giving them a much higher price. Every other example of this I've seen works out at this 0.84p currently with the bonus, but I'd still advise you to do the maths before you make a purchase just to make sure that it's delivering what you expect. And of course, if you buy these Avios using an Avios earning credit card, you'll earn Avios on the Avios that you've bought, which would bring the average price down a little bit further. And the Avios that you earn spending on the credit card will show up as Avios available to boost the next month. It all spirals down to zero really quite quickly, but it is quite fun to see how a purchase iterates through the system. So buying via this boost is going to deliver a slightly better price routinely than buying via a subscription, and an even better price if there is one of these periodic bonuses in force. Provided, of course, that you have some organic Avios throughput in your account that you can then boost. So point 3 in this video is that BA has extended its double tier points offer for another year, all the way through to December 2024. Now, they have tightened the terms and conditions on how you can use this offer very recently. Check out this video for a discussion on that. But with these new restrictions in place, BA obviously thinks it's onto a winner, so has extended the initiative. I'm quite surprised they've done this, if I'm honest, but I'm quite pleased they have. Now remember that qualifying trips have to start from the UK, which includes Jersey for these purposes. Ex-UK pricing to the United States is rarely that good, but it can get interesting when there's a sale, particularly from Jersey. So if you travel with an eye on maximising tier points, this may present some interesting opportunities as we go through 2024, and if you travel regularly on BA holidays anyway, hey, bonus tier points! And my final points today is the biggie. BA has changed the way that Avios are earned when flying on BA and Iberia. The Avios you earned used to be a relatively simple calculation based on the distance of flight flown, the cabin you were in, and the status you held in the programme. Gold used to get a 100% bonus, silver 50%, and bronze 25%. So the Avios you used to earn on a flight were fixed, and the lower the price you found for that flight, the better value you got. Thrift used to be rewarded. This was great if, like me, you're a cheap Charlie and you tend to fly on discounted business tickets with an ex-EU itinerary. And as I used to fly mostly as a gold card holder because I was in control of when I executed my renewal runs, I used to do really well. Back in the mists of history of this channel, I looked at doing a tier point run before everybody's status got extended because of the you-know-what. In this video, you'll see I found a 920 tier point run that cost £1,112. The days of those prices, I fear, are behind us. But that routing would have delivered 42,400 Avios, which at a valuation of 1p each brought the net cost of that trip down to about 700 quid. But BA has announced that from the 18th of October 2023, Avios will be earned based on the price paid for the ticket. The concept of a status multiplier has been retained, as the multiple applied will range from 6 Avios per pound from a new non-status blue card holder up to 9 Avios per pound for a gold card holder and above. That multiplier is not, though, applied to the full price. No, that would be too simple. It's applied only to the fare paid less the taxes. That includes carrier surcharges, which, as I've talked about before, used to be a way that airlines would hide revenue in the taxes and fees. Iberia tried to do it excluding that, got found out very quickly, so BA has bitten the bullet and allows you to include that element of the price paid in the Avios earning fare. Now, I didn't keep a detailed record of the taxes and fees in that tier point run I mentioned a moment ago, but I reckon there would have been perhaps £250 worth of taxes in there, meaning the Avios earning element of that trip would have been about £860. So under these new rules, that fare could earn me just 7,750 Avios, which is 82% less than I would have got under the old calculation scheme. I'll come back to why I stress the word could in a moment, because, as you might expect, the implementation of this is actually a little bit complicated. The first complicated bit is that BA has made it very, very difficult to see how many Avios a fare you're looking at is going to earn. Now, BA probably thinks that most people consider Avios as an output of a journey rather than an input into the booking process. So not being able to immediately work out how many Avios you're going to earn for a trip is probably in BA's mind not a problem. But anybody watching this video isn't most people, and so this complexity is going to become really quite annoying. You'll probably be able to cross-reference the fare in ITA Matrix to be able to see what the tax element of it is, or possibly Expert Flyer, and some OTA websites do give you this information too. But it's an extra step that's a right pain, and it is a bit complex. And one immediate conclusion you might draw from what I've said so far is that BA has got something against its most premium members. Us gold members have seen our bonus cut from 100% to 50%, and the premium over being a silver card holder is now negligible. BA has done quite a few things lately which actually hurt gold card holders. The gold priority reward is now effectively valueless, and the reward flight saver changes have really undercut the value of the upgrade vouchers you receive when you get into the higher echelons of your gold status. It's hard to believe that BA sets out to hurt its most senior members, but if they don't set out to do this, they must be doing it through incompetence. Or perhaps they think that their loyalist of customers just aren't going to go anywhere if they see their benefits eroded, because after all, they are the loyalist of customers. It would be a bit cynical of BA to operate this way though. So this is annoying, and it diminishes yet further the benefits of being a gold card holder. But people have been particularly annoyed over how BA have communicated this. The email started with how they are constantly improving their club. Well, this really doesn't feel like an improvement to me. It's a bit like French revolutionaries advertising the guillotine as being a weight loss device. Some people, though, will have more opportunities to earn Avios. That bit actually is true. Avios will now be earned on add-ons like seat selection and baggage fees. Of course, Gold members already got those included as part of their Gold status, so that is an improvement for lower level members of the club, but it's another example of BA giving two fingers to its loyalist of members. And the webpage you're directed to from the email states that it will make it easier to work out how many Avios you'll earn, which as we've seen is just not true. Not a lot of value in those last two bits, but I really do hate it when a company patronises you so directly. So, back to the communications, and BA gives two helpful examples of what's going to happen. The first shows the lowest level status holder flying economy to Nice. And indeed, they are better off. And they'd be better off if they didn't have that seat reservation fee in there as well. My immediate reaction was that BA had included that to make this look positive, but as it turns out, they are 51% better off as is shown, and they would still be 38% better off if they played the seat selection lottery and didn't pay to pre-reserve one. But BA doesn't show you what happens to gold card holders on this particular flight. But don't worry, I've worked it out for you. And gold card holders will be 31% worse off. That fare would have to be over £215, plus the taxes of course, in order for a gold card holder to be better off. It's funny that BA doesn't draw your attention to this. The second example is a silver card holder flying in business class to New York. And to be fair to BA, a silver card holder will indeed be 84% better off in this situation. And if you extend it to gold card holders, they'll be 66% better off. But who in their right mind is going to pay £3,200 for a business class fare to New York? And remember, that excludes the taxes, so the full fare is closer to £3,700. JetBlue is offering seats from London to New York for £1,800, and they've arguably got a better product. I found 10 airlines offering a better price than this with an intermediate stop between London and New York, and there will be perhaps half a dozen cities from which you can construct an ex-EU fare through London to New York, where you'll end up with a fare that's perhaps as little as a third of what BA is charging. Now, travelling indirectly adds time and complexity, I'll accept that, but that JetBlue example is a direct comparison. So BA's changes will reward those people. I'm just not sure how many people are going to be buying a full fare business class ticket on BA for a leisure trip. Rob at Head for Point, as you'd expect, wrote a very detailed and thorough article about all of this and concluded that BA is going to reward people who don't need to be rewarded. Their flying decisions are taken by their employers and they have no say in who they fly with. And it makes BA less attractive to those of us who shop around for prices, as the Avios incentive to pick BA over another carrier has been greatly reduced. And the better you buy in terms of the price you get for a BA fare, the more you are punished. Rob's article will be linked in the description below. So why did BA do it? Well, after this change, the loyalty cost of a ticket is now variable to how much was spent for it. That makes costs far more predictable and easier to budget. I have no idea whether the overall impact of all of this increases or reduces BA costs, but I'm going to take a guess that it reduces their costs. But you'd hope a reduction in loyalty costs will make BA more profitable, which will make it easier for them to invest in new products and services. One can hope. I would also expect there to be tweaks to all of this before it settles down. When Iberia moved to this system, there needed to be several tweaks made after the announcement because they found themselves to be just uncompetitive. And I wouldn't be shocked if something similar happens to BA. So is this going to change my behaviour? Well, it might in a little way, but not perhaps the way you'd expect. A while back I said this could reduce the number of Avios you earn, but it turns out there are a few ways of avoiding this change. If you're flying point to point with BA to Europe, then you'll probably have to suck up this reduction. But if you're looking at a more traditional tier point run to North America, you usually get the choice of booking it through AA, Iberia, BA, and sometimes even Finnair. I actually booked a tier point run the day after this change was announced, and I was able to push those flights onto AA flight numbers, which will earn the Avios based on the old form of earning rather than the new. If you push it to a BA or an Iberia flight number, you'll earn it under the new scheme. There's often a few pounds difference between those fares, but by buying through AA, I'm going to get something like 25,000 more Avios than I would have done if I'd booked through BA. Tickets bought before October aren't going to be affected by this, but this is an illustration of what you should be looking at after the change comes into force. And if you're not chasing tier points when you fly, you can of course look into charging your flights to a different frequent flyer scheme. If you charge flights to a Qatar account, you'll probably earn more Avios. You can link the Qatar account back to a BA account and move that higher level of Avios back to BA when you want to spend them. But that will only work if you don't need the tier points. And one final oddity is that flights booked as part of a BA holiday will continue to earn Avios using the old calculation. Now I have a theory as to why this is needed. If a hotel is selling rooms to BA and Virgin, there's probably a clause in the contract saying that neither airline can reveal what they're paying for those rooms. That keeps the commercial confidentiality of the deal. Now, if BA rewarded holiday flights on this new Avios base, you should be able to work out how much the flight was out of the price that you paid, which would allow you to work out how much the hotel was, which would possibly breach the conditions that governs the purchase of the hotel by BA. It's just a theory and I could very well be wrong, but it might explain why BA is still calculating Avios the old way for holiday bookings. And if you schedule the holiday right, you'll get the double tier points through to the end of 2024. So this is unquestionably a bad development. Am I distraught? Not really. In this video I shared that I only earned 1.1% of my Avios from flying in 2022, and a lot of that was on airlines where the Avios earning basis hasn't changed. And when I do fly on paid tickets, it's usually when I'm renewing my status, doing tier point runs, and as we've seen, it looks like it'll be easy enough to swerve BA and Iberia tickets to keep getting Avios the old way. But when I fly on a paid ticket, it's usually for tier points. Avios are nice, but they're not really the primary reason for my travel. And revenue-based reward schemes are where every reward program is going. I've said in many videos now that it's important to remember that it is the airline's reward scheme, it's not yours. If we find a way of getting strong value out of a scheme that the airline perhaps didn't anticipate, it's only ever going to be a matter of time before that avenue is closed down. It's clearly uneconomic for BA to give you 30% of the cost of your ticket back in the form of Avios when you do one of these discounted business trips. It's hard to do, but we should probably reflect on the length of time that this opportunity was available to us and the benefits we derived from it, rather than the fact that it has now been closed off to us. And if BA actually knew what it was doing, this opportunity would probably never have been there in the first place. Now, I've made 3 or 4 updates to the Executive Club videos in the 3 years or so I've been running my channel, and I've gone back through them all and I've found about 15 different things that I've reported on over that time. I'm going to quickly jog through them, and although I know I'm setting myself an editing nightmare, I'm going to allocate each of them to the good or the bad side of the ledger. One World expanded with Royal Air Morocco and Alaska joining, and Oman Air is joining too. Some short-haul routes were devalued. Status was extended through the you-know-what. Qualification thresholds were reduced through the you-know-what. Avios and Nectar deal was launched. Barclays added the ability to earn Avios to some of its bank accounts. Barclays then launched a Barclaycard that earns Avios. Qatar adopted Avios. That's a big one. Alex Cruise got the boot. The TUFA could be used by a single passenger. The TUFA has been extended to be used on Iberia and Aer Lingus. Reward flight savers were rolled out. Now this one's really quite complicated because you could argue it positively or negatively, but I think for me it's a net positive. Gold priority rewards were devalued. The double tier points offer on hotels was launched, and the subscription program for buying Avios was launched. So I reckon 13 out of those 15 were positive. And 2 out of the 3 changes I mentioned before this point in this video are positive too. This change to the way Avios are earned is certainly a big one. But I'm sure you will agree that over the last 3 years, the balance of the changes that have been made have certainly been in our favour. So thanks for watching. I hope this was useful. I don't like to do immediate reaction videos. I like to think about changes and reflect on them a little bit, and I hope that's come through in this video. Please give the video a like if you've made it to the end. Very helpful with the YouTube algorithm. Please consider subscribing if you're new, and leave me a comment. Will this make a big difference to you, or having thought about it, is it perhaps not as catastrophic as it might have first seemed? And if you'd like to support what I'm doing more directly and get access to my WhatsApp group, there's a Patreon account, the link to which is in the description below. So thanks again for watching, and I'll see you all in the next one. Goodbye.